Hi, I'm Pat Barnard, Group Managing Editor for TMCnet, coming to you from IT Expo West in LA. And joining me is Gavin Garbutt, President and CEO of Nable Technologies. Hi, Gavin. How are you?
Pat, very well, thank you, and thanks very much for having me today.
So welcome. And tell me why you're here at IT Expo, and tell me what's new with Nable Technologies.
Absolutely. Well, we've got a lot of new things going with Nable these days. As you know, we're a remote monitoring and management platform for managed service providers. We also sell security applications and backup solutions. And we're really excited. We actually just launched a new backup solution in the last 2 weeks, actually in partnership with CA.
Okay.
So that's been really quite nice. But what's really exciting for us is that we're seeing an explosion in the market of managed service providers. And not just the number of new managed service providers coming in, but actually the market penetration that our existing customer base has been getting. And we think a lot of this is related to the new platform that we launched in January, which has a freemium model. So it has 2 layers, the professional layer that they buy, and then free applications that they can take out to their non-managed customers, get it on the system, do a full asset discovery, and go back to the customer and provide them a report and show them where they have problems, and then upsell and cross-sell additional services. What's interesting about this particular event is that we're seeing a lot of telco VARs coming into the data side.
Right.
So they want to get into managed services, they want to understand how to communicate with the customers, how do they sell the value proposition, how do they price it, and how do they go out and win that new business.
Right.
And what we've been seeing that's really interesting and is in the last 7 months, our partners have grown their SMB managed customer base from 22,000 to 35,000, which is almost a 50% increase in the last 7 months. So we're really excited to see this. This is really an explosion in the market.
Right, yeah. And of course, with a lot of these providers now looking at adding communications via the cloud for their customers, it presents a lot of new opportunities and a lot of new opportunities for you guys as well, I would imagine. So,
well, absolutely. Everything that's data, the MSP wants to own and control. So the view is if I have the management of their environment, if I have all of that data and I can provide them reports and show them where they have problems and requirements, then I can sell them, whether it's the data side, whether it's the voice side, or whether it's the copy and print side. So what's interesting is we're seeing the channels from each one of these segments coming into the data world and saying, great, now how do I be that trusted advisor? How do I get all of that business and make sure that my competitor's not in there in that trusted advisor position?
right, okay, great. Now, you're probably predominantly going to be attending the tracks and sessions associated with the MSP track, is that right? I would imagine.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
yes. That's of particular interest to me, but I'm also I'm going to a sprinkling of others also, just because they're topics that are of interest, and it's an opportunity for me to learn about the telco side as well.
Okay.
And then, of course, we have our booth during the event, and we welcome all service providers to come and see us.
What booth number are you in?
747.
Okay, great, good. And talk to me a little bit about your company's growth. I mean, obviously you sort of underscored it with what you just said, but sort of size up the growth for me and what your expectations are moving forward based on these new developments.
Absolutely. Well, we've introduced a number of new products. So as a company, we're about 120 employees. We have offices around the world. We have over 2,000 managed service providers as customers.
Wow.
And they're managing approximately 35,000 small and medium-sized enterprises. And on an annualized basis, what we're really interested in is not necessarily getting masses of new MSP partners, but how do we help our partners really own their territory and their market? How do we make sure they're the best and they're getting what we call 100% coverage? So every single customer or prospect that you should have their data. And you should be able to go into them, provide them a report, show them where their current provider is lacking,
right,
and where you can fulfill their needs and requirements and win new business. And what we're seeing, as I was mentioning, on this year we're tracking to have about an 85 to 90% growth in the number of SMBs that are being managed by our partners. And we have some partners that are growing by 500-700% as far as the number of SMBs they're managing. And then they're getting more and more and more business from these people. So it's an exciting time.
Great, good. Thanks very much for joining us today. We've been talking with Gavin Garbutt, President and CEO of Nable Technologies, coming to you from IT Expo West in LA. Thanks again.
Thanks, Pat.